and welcome to another Coffee with Ronja. So today we're gonna go dive into the season of autumn together. I really love autumn, and I think that the seasonal changes and the different vibes that the seasons have such a big impact on how creativity is coming into the everyday life. So that's what we're gonna be talking about today. I have painted this little sketch-like illustration, and I will just let you have a look at everything that I do alongside of a little bit of a talk. Throughout the changes of the seasons in the entire year, there is so much that is changing within in our mental state, in our bodies, and it's a very big impact that it has on everything inside of us when the seasons are shifting and changing. Generally, this used to be way more present when we were still living outside and closer inside nature. Yet this constant focus of our own psyche and physical well-being and the outside world cannot just be ignored. It feels like we are living very distant from nature, and yet some people tend to forget that after all we're still a part of nature. So whenever we dive into the seasons, into the nature, it's mostly just finding a part of us inside our surroundings again. So obviously, when our surroundings change, a part of us also changes, and especially when you're in close contact with your emotional sides and your creative and emotional impulses, then you will notice certain change throughout the year, since there is such a different feeling throughout the seasons. If you walk through the forest, it's like a different part of nature throughout the year. You can walk in 4 different forests within one forest. So for me, it's pretty much the same if I do some art. It can feel like I'm like 4 different artists sometimes throughout the year, and I really enjoy that because I want to be not so focused on a certain kind of art sometimes, just like go with the flow and really just do the art that comes from deep down inside. And as you see over here, as I'm illustrating this little autumn scene, that was a cozy afternoon sitting at the fire, and I was just having some tea. And to illustrate this kind of situation, it's just the spirit that is really encouraging me throughout autumn to get the beauty of these autumn colors and also the cozy spirit into my artworks. Yet I also think that it can sometimes be very challenging to have the big shifts within your creative practices, since there's obviously an audience out there, so everybody who listens to this would be considered the audience, and I am glad for any kind of contacting, or as you wish to leave some likes, subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this, or just to leave a nice comment and just share some positive vibes over here. And I'm just glad for anything like that, since I'm just a true artistic soul, and I get that it is hard to share a positive way of sharing your content, and I try my very best. So back to the topic. In general, it is very hard if you're having to keep your audience up on what you're doing, and your creative processes shift a lot throughout the year. Yet I think it's always more important to stay true to yourself as an artist, because if you're just sticking with something that has no emotional connection to you at all, it is easy to get lost, and it is so hard to make an artwork that seems authentic to your audience, which in my opinion is a way more important feature than to be consistent in the kind of art that you create. So there were just a couple of impulses that came to my mind whilst I was enjoying this shift of the season and this shift in my art recently. I'm sure it's gonna be shifting again when the seasons change a little bit. Yet I don't see any kind of difficulty in that, and when creating art, emotional connection to the art piece is the most important thing for me, and I appreciate everybody else who is doing exactly this connection of art and emotional state, and who really just makes art from the bottom of their heart and to share something with the world that is just meant to be something beautiful and a part of the artist as well as a part of the environment. So, having said all this, I wish you a wonderful time in autumn and see you again next time.